1.4 review, The Design Problem, by Emily Cheng, Iris Brammer, Zach Osman, and Luke Sistar. What is it? It is a process to systematically solve problems with criteria and constraints, to develop as many possible solutions, and to narrow those down to one final choice. Many variations of this similar process exist. To remember the steps, a handy mnemonic is DGD-CEP, or David got Dorito chips every period. On the right, it is a flowchart, which is an example of this design process. Step 1 is to define the problem. You need a design brief for this. A design brief identifies the problem, identifies whether it is solvable, and what are the needs, wants, or prior solutions. Is it worth solving, and what are the specifications? The specifications would include your criteria and constraints. This is used to encourage thinking of all aspects before actually attempting a solution. Step 2 would be to generate concepts. You research, you see past solutions, and you determine whether this technology needs to exist. Then you brainstorm. You find possible solutions with many other people throwing anything out there. You consider additional design goals, and once you have multiple ideas, you determine the best one with a decision matrix. The decision matrix is a tool used to compare design solutions against one another with specific needed and additional criteria that add up to total scores for each option. Step 3 is to develop a solution. You have to create a detailed design solution, and you must justify why it's like this. You also have to document it, which includes technical drawings. These must provide the info necessary to manufacture the product, such as material, size, shape, and assembly. Step 4 would be to construct and test a prototype. You have to make a first version of your product. You plan to test it, and you determine which factors it will be tested for, like performance, usability, and durability. After you test it, you have to collect and analyze data and create a test report. Step 5 is to evaluate your solution. Was it effective? You reflect on the design. Were there improvements you could have added? Then you optimize and redesign the solution and repeat additional steps. Step 6 is to present your solution. You document the project in a portfolio and formally present the project. Teamwork is incredibly important in the design process. A group of people working together for a common goal, each with their own strengths to contribute. You identify your team mission, create team norms, and identify each member's strengths and weaknesses. Each member might have an idea, but use a decision matrix to narrow it down to one. Design briefs are used to gauge the progress and validity of the work. Parts. A client, one who needs the engineer to help a customer. Designer, the engineer who uses math and science to solve problems. The problem statement clearly and concisely identifies the problem, never implies the solution. Design statement, specify degree to which the solution must be designed, how far to go in the design process, and challenges the engineer must face. Constraints, guidelines/rules that must be followed, for example, the budget. Deliverables, suggested by the client or teacher as gradable moments to determine effectiveness. This is an example of a design brief.